Hi, my name is Jay Cermak. I'm the Director of Tech Innovation for Keller Williams, and I want to actually talk about Zillow. So, this is really for realtors to talk about how to leave Zillow before Zillow leaves you. And I'm sure you're wondering, wait, I love Zillow. They give me leads. The consumers love them. Well, let's talk about that, right? So I want to talk about that, including iBuyers. And right now, Zillow is actually buying homes in my area in South Florida. I know they're buying homes in Phoenix, Arizona, all kinds of areas all around the world. And I want to explain why this is happening. So let's talk about the Z in the room. And that's going to start with what is Zillow up to? So when we talk about this, Zillow was formed around 2005, 2006, and Zillow started as a marketing company, which was to market listings because real estate agents didn't want to adopt technology, right? We had the MLS book, that's how we kept it. Then in the mid 90s, we came out with the MLS. We had the multiple listing service and we went to the internet. And after that, we were slow to adopt. And within 10 years, if 96 is when the internet came out for MLS, then in 10 years, Zillow then said, hey, realtors aren't marketing very well. Let's be a marketing company and go in and go get leads that we can then sell to realtors, and we'll be the better marketers, right? We'll drive the traffic to our website. So that's how they started back in 2006. And one of the biggest ways they still get people today is one thing that they do differently than anybody else, and that's a Zestimate. Now, whether we agree that the Zestimate is right or not, the consumer does. So they started as a website basically that said, come find homes. And here's the interesting thing, guys. They didn't have actual data. They didn't have the data. You got the listing. It was the real estate agents' listings that they had. And because we syndicate and we've got everything out, now we have to get it on Zillow or the client won't see it, right? We hear from our own consumer telling us it's not showing on Zillow fast enough, and they get upset because that's where the consumer goes. So they started that way, and now Zillow has the database and one of the largest databases in the world around real estate. So now they have the premier agent where they actually sell it to you. And most of us have subscribed to this notion of owning a zip code, getting leads that come in. And the national average around these leads is around $50 to $65 per lead. It can get upwards for $220 currently. I'm going to talk about how that's going to change. So they started that way where Zillow doesn't own any data, but they had the people, right? I have John Smith looking to buy a home in your area, and I'll call a real estate agent and say, hey, would you like to buy John Smith? So now they get about 160 million visitors a month. And then those leads are sold to you. 160 million visitors. How many homes sell in America a year? On average, about 5 to 5.5 million homes sell a year, yet we sell 160 million leads to you a month from Zillow. What's interesting about that, that means a maximum of what, 10 to 11 million transactions happen in a year. And we know Zillow isn't the only way people buy homes, yet that's a big traffic. So Zillow gets about 160 million visitors a month and they sell the leads to you, which means they've in essence won the internet game. So they drive more traffic in their site than anyone else. Okay, well, great. They've got that information. You know, they don't own any data. So back in around 2015, Zillow purchased Dotloop. Now, you might use Dotloop. Dotloop is a transaction management system. It is writing contracts and accessing that stuff. Zillow has owned this since 2015. That's 5 years now that most realtors didn't know Zillow bought that. And you know why they bought that? To improve their Zestimate and to get more data. If you think having a listing that someone else already got, we didn't have the data. Now they have the data of the person with their name, number, and email address, yet they didn't have any data around real estate and they couldn't help drive their Zestimate any better. So they purchased Dotloop because now they have access to every contact in that system and every contract ever written. Now they will claim that they don't use this data in any way, yet their default is to use the data and you have to opt out. And I don't know about you, my company told me that they didn't touch it. However, how do you put data in one pool and then not touch part of it? So in essence, Zillow can use this data now, and you might even see this. I see on the internet today, a real estate agent will say, I just wrote an offer on this house. They accepted the contract, and I went online and the Zestimate changed to the number I wrote in the contract. Let that sink in. They have more data now than ever. Data became the new gold. And you'll find that, especially in real estate, this is where they're going and putting all their money. So they did that. Then Zillow came out with a mortgage product. Now they own a mortgage company. And in November of 2018, they closed on it. Now they haven't rolled it out that it's so big they offer it everywhere. But now think about that. I have the viewer, I have the consumer. They've chosen me as their premier place to go and find homes. Now they're getting the data and the contracts. So technically now they can write contracts and access the contract data. And now they've got a mortgage. Do you see what's happening here? Where are you in this situation? I mean, they're selling you a lead, but they're not going to sell it to you back for the standard about $50 per lead they were doing in the past. Actually, it's going to go up about over 3,600% in cost. So now they've changed the Premier program, and you're going to learn about iBuyers here in a second. And what they're doing with that is now they have a license, and they can then charge you a referral fee. So no more monthly, give us $1,000 to $2,000 to get leads from us a month. Now we'll give you the free lead. Yet when they close on a home, we now want about 35% of your commission. Since we're licensed, we can do that. You guys, that's how they're doing this. So I know for sure in Florida, they're licensed, and they're licensed in several other states. Typically, wherever their iBuying program is, they're licensed there. So Arizona, they're licensed. Florida, they're licensed. Many states. And now they're going to say no monthly fee. Now we'll give you a referral fee of about 30 to 35% commission to start. Remember, commission and referral fees are not mandated by the government or any entity in any way. So who's to stop them from going to 50% or 80%? So the money you were making in your real estate business, even if you rely on Zillow for leads, is going to dramatically change, meaning you're going to make less money, or you're going to have to spend more money to make more money as we go forward. Then they are now opening actual brokerages. So now they're hiring today an employee, and this is actually a picture from Indeed, where they were hiring in Miami for jobs. And they're hiring jobs because they have an iBuying program, which means Zillow is now buying homes. Think about that. In 2006, they were a marketing company just coming into the space. Then they were getting a lot of leads and selling a lead to you, and they were making money. Well, let's preface, they weren't making money. They weren't profitable. So their stockholders are putting a lot of pressure on them to evolve to make more money. So now Zillow has a premier agent. They've got that. They're getting 160 million visitors a month and selling a lead to you, and they're not making money. So then they had to go into purchasing the contract system of Dotloop to get more data, to make their estimate better, to get more views. Now they've got a mortgage product, which, by the way, is an insane amount of data. You think we have a lot of data in real estate. Imagine how much data a mortgage company has. Social security numbers, tax records, job history. How much data can you do with that? Now they're paying a referral fee with it, and now they're actually buying homes. So you're wondering, why the heck would Zillow be buying homes? Now they're competing against me. Now they're the owner of real estate, and they're no longer just a marketing company. Well, this is why they're doing this. So this is an actual case study of what they did in Arizona. So here's Phoenix, Arizona, and you might notice this little thing that says buying but need to sell first. Get a Zillow offers for your home. This is now happening in my area, meaning every one of those 160 million visitors that are going online just to see what their home is worth in areas where they're doing this, like in mine in South Florida, they're now saying, would you like us to buy your home and give you an offer? And what they're getting from that is leads. So Zillow, in doing this, got 20,000 leads of people who said, hey, I want to sell my home. Now understand, this lead isn't just a name, isn't just their email and phone number anymore. This is over a 45 questionnaire that they must answer about their home. Tell me about your deed. What improvements have you made? What's your mortgage? All this information that even you, the realtor, don't have. So now they're getting free data from consumers by raising their hand and driving them to the website that the consumer has always chosen as the top place to go for real estate information. So they got 20,000 leads. You know what they did with the 20,000 leads? They only purchased 200 of those homes. So 20,000 leads, 200 homes that I bought, you're talking 19,800 leads. I wonder what that's worth to a real estate agent if we don't do the standard $50 per lead. I'll tell you what that is. So let's say we do a 35% referral fee. and 45% of all those 19,800 leads closes, you guys, that's $1 billion enterprise now. Hey, stockholders, I just found a way to make you $1 billion. We're going to change the way we work with real estate agents, and we're going to charge them a referral fee, and we're going to make our money. You guys, this is just about money and business. I'm not saying they're good or bad. They're just business. Yet here's what I know. I don't know if that's the best decision for the consumer. So this is what they're doing. And this is what their website actually says. If you have not gone online to see what a Zillow and this Zillow offers program is, here's what they talk about. Skip the hassle and sell your home directly with Zillow. No prep work or showings required, available in select areas. So this is what's happening. Why sell with Zillow? Because get paid with no surprises. Once you close, payment is transferred 100% guaranteed. You guys, iBuyer doesn't stand for John and Sally sitting there wanting to buy a home. It's for investor buyer. It's cash. We have cash to purchase your home, and we will forgo a lot of those contingencies. Then skip the home prep. Forget repainting, repairs, or renovations. You don't need to do anything to stage your home to list it. Close when you want to. Their gimmick is you can pick a closing date when you want to. So if you want to stay a month or two, no problem. We'll let you close. And then count on a dedicated support. Get on-call support from your Zillow advisor. Ooh, that's scary. There's no real estate agent now. Now you're telling me, Mr. Seller, call a call center where a Zillow advisor is going to talk to you? Yeah, I don't think the consumer's thinking that one through, yet that's what Zillow's saying. So this is what they're talking about. They're praying that the selling process is old and outdated with the traditional sale. So the traditional sale, we're saying 68 days, average days on market. Not a lie. Actually, lately that's been going up. In some markets, it's 100 days, 200 days. So there's a pain in that. That means 200 days, or in this case, 68 days, that I have to keep my home looking beautiful and perfect and staged. Ugh. So they're playing on that pain. Move out time, I have to negotiate with the buyer. The buyer might want to move quick, and then I go into panic. The buyer might want to take their time. I go into panic, and the repair costs will come out of pocket. So Zillow's saying, hey, no days on the market. We don't even have to list it. No, choose whenever you want to move, and then we'll include the repair costs. We'll talk about that in a minute. So what they're doing on the selling cost side, they're keeping it with the transaction cost. So they're calling selling cost. Notice they never use the word commission. You want a seller to be upset right now? Talk commission. Isn't that what they usually argue about? That that's too high, that's too much, I don't want to pay commission. You guys, that's the word that they don't want to hear about. What if you change your script to say selling cost? Your selling cost will be about 6%. That's what Zillow's doing, 6%, and that's what the traditional person will charge, 6%. Notice the asterisk, because sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. Closing costs, that's typical for everybody. About 1 to 2% of the sales price is what it's going to cost to close the home. Same. This is where it gets interesting. Zillow's service charge, 1 to 3.7% for convenience. They're calling it a service charge. And you're probably wondering, well, who would want to pay that? You guys, have you ordered something from Amazon, or what about DoorDash, where you've ordered food to be delivered? Don't you pay extra for a premium for convenience fee, right? You pay extra for a delivery person to come deliver it. That's all they're doing. People will pay for convenience. And if I can go through this process, it's worth it. So I wanted to point that out. And in our area, this is actually happening. So most of these markets that are doing the iBuyers, they're only choosing one realtor to represent the entire transaction. So in our area, that would be Lori Reeder. Now, Lori Reeder is a great agent. She used to be with KW. She's got her own brokerage here. And honestly, she's just taking advantage of the market at the moment. But here's what I know. If Zillow does the transaction and buys the home and then sells that home, and they only pick one realtor, who, by the way, pays the referral fee for that, and Lori's the only person doing that, that means we don't even have a chance to have that conversation. The only leads we're going to get from are the ones that Zillow did not buy, flip the home, and sell. So I wanted to point that out. And here's what's an actual offer somebody got. So instant offers from Zillow. This is what somebody really got. It was posted on the internet. Full price cash offer, $405,000. Well, here's what's interesting. The iBuyer program, just in general, starts with a Zestimate. Hey, we think your home is worth, in this case, $405,000. You're going to go, great, I love it. Let's take it. Sold. Well, not so fast. Next, we're going to send a realtor. In this case, in South Florida, that'd be Lori Reeder. Lori Reeder is going to say, hey, let me look at your home and do the comps. Well, we said we'd offer 405,000, but honestly, looking at the market, I think your home is really closer to 380. So now they're going to adjust to that. You're still going to go 380,000. That's not bad. I'll take it. Well, then they're going to go, okay, by the way, we still have to send out somebody to look at the repair. So we're going to send an inspector out. The inspector might say, you know what, you need new windows, the bathroom's outdated, the kitchen needs work, and it's going to cost about $40,000. So now your offer from 405 dropped down to 380. Now it's dropping down to 340. You see where this is going. Then we have our buyer service fee, 7.5%. So now we're dropping it another $30,000 plus your closing costs. You guys, in reality, this 405 offer might end up being less than 300,000. So I wanted to point that out because you can have the conversation. And honestly, all we have to change in our script is just like we asked Mr. Seller, have you ever thought about selling your home yourself? What if we just ask Mr. Seller, have you ever gone online and gotten an offer for your home, like from Zillow or some of these online companies? Great, what does that offer? I would love to look at it and let's show you the way that we can net to you the most amount of money. That's all they want. The property sold with the least amount of hassle for top dollar, and they just want to net as much money as possible. You guys, we can do this too. But I wanted to point this out because I understand we're not having this conversation, and we may not be having this conversation because we're uncomfortable. So this education is to make sure that you're comfortable and you can have a better conversation. If it's 7.5% buyer service fee, you know what, Mr. Seller? I'll do it for 6. We just overcame the objection of, I don't want to do your commission at 6%. It's too high. To Mr. Seller, we just became the discounter. And if they're doing as high as 10.5% that I've seen, Mr. Seller, I'll do it for 8. Can't we show them a solution and then just show our value? So why would they even do this? Because advertising is where Zillow started, right? And advertising is less of the transaction and far from the transaction. And the advertising didn't make them profit. Zillow did not make enough money to make the stockholders happy, so they had no choice but to move. And the biggest chunk of real estate money is the agent commission. That's the biggest chunk. Plus there's money in finance, title, insurance, moving, utilities. Do you notice a trend? The real estate agent is going from finding a home to financing a home to insuring the home to closing on the home to the entire all-in-one transaction inside of one system. Zillow is one of those top people already poised for that. Are you ready for that? So going forward with this, why would they do that? So they're moving. So Zillow now is the closest to the transaction because they have qualifying the leads. By the way, that premier program for your 35% usually means they're actually going to have conversation first. They're going to call this person and vet them, and you're going to pay a premium for that. By the way, the other companies are doing that as well. Realtor.com is starting that way. So your cost per leads is going to go up significantly because if they're doing the work, they're qualifying the lead, they're getting them pre-approved with their own mortgage product. Why should you get the full commission? They're just looking to take more of that transaction. So at the end of the day, are you prepared? Is your brokerage that you're with preparing you to compete against Zillow and these iBuying companies? There's tons of them out there. They're getting into the center of the transaction and making you the functionary that opens a door and writes a contract and maybe negotiates, but then they're reducing your role and taking more money for that. Are you still getting the most of your leads through Zillow? I know agents that still get Zillow leads. They still say, wow, this works. I'm getting a lot of stuff. Yet let's think about that. Are you netting the most amount of money and are you making as much real estate money as you used to? I talked to a team the other day and they made $1 million last year. And when I asked them about their technology, you know, they share they spend $3,000 a month on Zillow. That's $36,000 a year. And when I asked them how many leads they convert, not many. So even though they made $1 million and that's great, they're spending $36,000 on that. There's strategies that I know of that I can take that from 36,000 to what if we spend 3,600 and generate the same amount of leads, like through Facebook. You think Zillow's a giant with 160 million visitors a month. You guys, Facebook has 2 billion users a month. We can go head to head with this if you have a strategy around Facebook. So that's one of the things to talk about. Are you prepared? So I want to talk about this because really I want to have a conversation where you can learn more about Keller Williams and what we're doing to prepare our agents and to move them forward. Gary Keller has always said the reason we became a technology company, along with other things, is because we always want to keep the realtor at the center of the transaction. So I want to talk more about how we're protecting our agents and how to compete against Zillow. Our focus has always been to keep the realtor in the center of the transaction. We'll talk about Keller offers. We are going head to head with an iBuying program that keeps the agent in the center of the transaction. You'll actually make money from this program if you're a Keller offers approved person that can do these. I know we're offered in Phoenix, Arizona. I know we're opening right now in Orlando and Tallahassee. We're coming to South Florida. This is really going head to head against these iBuying companies, and we're making sure our agents say that we offer this. Then you're going to talk more about how we have our new KW app, which was already voted by Best in Class by Inman. Our new Realtor app is to do what Zillow is doing, yet we actually have other products. We have a mortgage product, we have an insurance product, all built inside this app. So now to compete against Zillow, Keller Williams agents can say we have that and more. You can find a home on our app. You can finance the home and save money, by the way, with Keller Mortgage. You can then insure the home with Keller Covered. We can help you with here. By the way, we have Keller offers. So if you're in an area where that is available, like Phoenix, Arizona, you can actually click a button and get an offer from Keller Williams and Keller Williams offer. By the way, that keeps the agent in the center of the transaction, and our agents will get paid on that transaction. And it allows them to negotiate. And best part is the realtor just became Amazon in this situation. We will see in real time in our database who's coming in, what are they clicking on, what are they looking at, and you will stay at the center of the transaction by offering this product. So we're going to share with you how Keller Williams is the #1 real estate company in the US by units, the unit sales volume, and agent count. That's why I'm wearing Triple Crown, right? The Triple Crown is what we have to be the #1 real estate company here in the US for sure. And on our way to #1 in the world. We're the #1 training company by Training Magazine in all industries. We're the #1 coaching company in the world with more real estate coaches than anyone else. We're #1 technology company in real estate. And we're all here to help the agents live bigger lives and make more money. So if you're interested in joining Keller Williams or just learning more about how do we compete against this, how can you guys help me stay at the center of the transaction and make more money? We have 940 locations worldwide. So I'm happy to connect you with any of those offices, and you can learn more and sign up for this at opportunities in RE for opportunitiesinrealestate.com. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to talk more about iBuyers. I've got some things to talk about what we call a fourth industrial revolution, why the world is going towards these Amazon, Uber, Netflix experiences and going away from the Blockbuster and Walmart and the old way of doing business. So stay tuned as we continue on this series. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.